Hi, Trevor here, reflecting on life through music. Thank you for stopping by. Well, come in again today. You're very welcome. How great to see you all here. I chose to enjoy my last video on, well, actually it was a request, the Water Boys and Bigger Picture. One of those lines, I'm seeing the bigger picture, I'm starting to colour it in. How cool is that line? So I just found that one encouraging. Well, we're going on to 1927, Wall Lake, Iowa. This guy was the youngest of four brothers, and certainly early on in his career, around the 1950s area, the Williams Brothers Quartet was pretty hot. They they all look pretty good. They wear the suits, very slick, harmonies, beautiful voices, the whole thing. And so they actually released 6 studio albums and 12 singles in their time as the Williams Brothers Quartet. Now we've got a bit of a clip before we get on to the guy we're talking about today of the Williams Brothers Quartet and the Osmond Brothers. Now, of course, the Osmond Brothers are American music royalty. Of course, Donny Osmond went on to have a pretty amazing career, as did the youngest brother in the Williams Brothers Quartet. And there's a bit of a joke here at the start. It's a little bit kitsch. It's a Christmas special, this one. It's like what it's like when one of us goes off and gets a bit of a career, and there's a little bit of a chuckle going on there. And so we got a TV clip there. But the guy we're talking about, the youngest of the 4 Williams brothers, was Andy Williams. Now, it was pretty well established that Andy was destined for big things because he just had the absolutely stunning voice. In fact, he got signed to Cadence Records in 1954, and from that point onwards he hasn't looked back. Couple of songs from those early days. We've got a bit of medley of Butterfly. It's all about flitting around and floating around, and you can't sit still, but I love you anyway, and Are You Sincere? We don't want to be asked that question, do we? But so we've got a medley there. That's a live version from 1993. Now, Andy Williams, he's just got such an effortless voice, this guy. You know, you put him in the crooner category, he just oozes class and oozes just a brilliantly silky smooth voice. And because of that, he's had a pretty amazing career. But a big break came from him in 1961 with the movie Breakfast at Tiffany's. Now, this movie is a very significant movie because it had Audrey Hepburn in it for a start. Now, she is considered one of the screen goddesses of all time, this girl, and this movie catapulted her into absolutely mega superstardom at that point. And in this particular movie, she does sing a couple of verses of Moon River. And of course, they needed sort of a bit more of an official clip, so they got Andy Williams to do a version as well. And from that point onwards, he was a household name. Now, Moon River is a song I would want to talk about a little bit more today. Moon River, I'm crossing you in style someday, where after the same rainbow's end, waiting around the bend, my huckleberry friend, Moon River, and me. Now, the thing I love about this song is the words, journey's end. And I think what we can talk about today is relationships, and that is, we all want a journey's end. We want one which is transparent and honest, and communication's great, passion's good, and we're good friends and all the rest of it. That's what we want, don't we? And we think, well, we'll get there one day. Well, hopefully you will, but there's more going on here than just that, because you might have your way of getting to the journey's end, the other person's got their way of getting to their journey's end, but we've got parallel lines happening, not joining lines, parallel lines happening to get to that spot. And we both got this ideal relationship, right? But in the meantime, our relationship is suffering. Our relationship's actually not going anywhere because we're not comparing notes about how we're going. No, we're talking about culture of relationships here. You know, when someone does something that hurts you, you think, oh, that was a bit of a thing. And you say, oh, I actually didn't like it when that happened. I felt, we should say. Oh, really? Oh, gosh, okay, I didn't realise that. Thanks for letting me know, and I'm sorry about that. That stuff's easy. Culture of relationships, on the other hand, different story. Because human beings love habits. We're creatures of habit, and we think that what we're doing is the right thing, when in fact it may not be. And the culture of the relationship is suffering. It's very, very hard to change the culture of a relationship when it starts to go bad. Imagine you're in a 200,000 ton oil tanker, and the oil tanker needs to do a U-turn. It doesn't happen. It takes kilometers for that to happen. But if it's worth it, you'll do it. But I think the better thing to do is right from the start, we get our communication better, and we get our friendship happening. So we talk about anything and everything. As I shared in If You Could Read My Mind by Gordon Lightfoot a little while ago, particularly at the start when things are like your brains are going a bit all over the place, that's the best time to talk to each other about how you're going, because that's only going to deepen the relationship going forward. So let's not have parallel lines. Let's have lines that unite, but it's going to require you talking to each other, and there's going to be a bit of give and take required as well, because one person might be thinking one thing and one person might be thinking something else. Both the parties are going to have to give way so that the relationship can flourish. We don't want to, because if we're thinking Rainbow's End's going to happen one day, and we're not thinking about how we're going to get there, well, it probably won't. And many relationships have failed because the paths are so different. So I trust that will be encouragement for you today. If you're feeling like you're living in parallel lines, do something about it in the next 48 hours. Say, hey, look, let's have a chat about this stuff, hey? So I trust that will be an encouragement for you today. Now, around that time, because of Moon River, Andy Williams signed one of the biggest recording contracts in history, and he didn't look back from that point onwards. In 1962 to 71, he had the Andy Williams Show, and now this was one of the shows in television. This actually won him 3 Emmy Awards, this particular TV show. And if you got on the Andy Williams Show, you'd know you'd made it. In fact, there was no shortage of stars trying to get on the Andy Williams Show, because if you got on that show, it kind of boosted your career big time. Particularly if you got to sing on there as well. I even got to sing with Andy Williams. And so, Andy Williams Show. And then around 1991, he built his own theatre in the Ozarks. That's beautiful water, pine trees, hills, that kind of area. And this theatre has been received accolades for its design. First of all, it's fitting in with the local surroundings, its ambience, its acoustics, the whole thing. So Andy Williams is a man of means by this point, and it was great for him to be able to leave the legacy of this theatre for the world to enjoy. In fact, it was called the Moon River Theatre. How beautiful is that? Oh, by the way, I should have said I've got a live version of Moon River for you below. I forgot to talk about that one. And in 2011, go forward a little bit, we've actually got a final performance from Andy Williams, because he did leave us in 2012. It's so good to see someone just snap this video and to put it online. So we've got Andy Williams in one of his final performances. Now, as I said, he did leave the world in 2012, so he had a pretty good life. And if any of the Williams family are watching, my condolences for your loss here. Apart from the 3 Emmys, he got 6 Grammy nominations, and he's received a Lifetime Achievement Award from the Society of Singers. And he's also got a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, which is pretty cool. Between 1956 and 2007, this is a recording career. That's 51 years, right? 43 studio albums. Get your head around that for a minute. That's like nearly 1 a year. New songs, or songs that Andy has sung. So no shortage of songs in his catalogue, but I'm sure if you went to see an Andy Williams concert, you wanted to hear Moon River, absolutely. So he had 2 live albums, 28 compilation albums, 79 singles. 17 of those albums went to gold, and in fact, most of his albums sold over 1 million copies, and 47 of his singles got into the Billboard Top 100. So 47 out of 79. There we go. Estimated he sold around 100 million albums. So a pretty successful crooner in the scheme of things, and paved the way for many crooners after him, people like Michael Bublé in particular. This whole crooning style, effortless style, is well and truly alive today because of people like Andy Williams. So it's great to give him a bit of a tribute today. Well, if you come back for another one, or this is your first time to Life Reflections Through Music, thank you to everyone for coming back or coming here for the first time. It's great to see you all back. The links to those 1, 2, 3, 4 clips are in the description below, and I've also included my last clip from the Waterboys, so if you want to recap on them, feel free. Well, that's it for today. Next time we're going to go on to clarinet legend. I know, right? We do all sorts of things in this channel. Acapulco. Of course, you've got to do him because he was massive when he was out. So it's all we're heading next time. So until then, I'll catch you around. Bye for now.